Hello and welcome to yet another Magento 2 training. In this training we are going to look into social login so that we can allow our users login into our site using their own social network accounts. For example, Facebook, Google, Twitter or LinkedIn. So let's dig into Magento admin and let's go to stores, settings, configuration and then down to Mage Store and social login. Here we can see that we have enabled the plugin, and under shown position we have below customer login form, registration form, and then we have show pop-up when click login. So if we start with the first two ones, we see that if I go back to this page to /customer/account/login, we have these two buttons and other login where we see the other buttons. And if I click under create an account, we see the same buttons here as well. And if I go to the start page or to any page for that matter, and I click either sign in or create an account from the header, we will get this pop-up window with these two buttons and other login. And that is what this last template does. Then we have shown direction, which is right to left, which means that if I go back to this page, we have the buttons coming from the right, going to the left, instead of, from the left to the right. And then we also have number of visible buttons set to 2. And that means that we first see the 2 buttons that have the highest priority, and all of the other networks that we have enabled, they will be displayed under other login. So in another example that we're going to look into now, we want to add one more button under Google Sign In, and we want to add 1 or 2 more buttons to this form when you click other login. So let's go back to Magento admin and change number of visible buttons to 3. And then we want to show, first we want to show Facebook, so let's set this one to number 1. Then we want to show Google, so let's set this one to sort order number 2. Then we want to show Twitter, so let's keep this one as active and use sort order number 3. And then we want to show Instagram, so this one will have sort order number 4. And then we want to have Windows Live, so let's enable this one and set this one to, 5 or 6. So if I now click save and I clear my cache, and now if I go to the front end, we should see a couple of more buttons. So first we see LinkedIn, Facebook, Google, and then we have other login, which is Twitter, Instagram, and Windows Live. And now I have LinkedIn before Facebook, and that must be because if I go down to LinkedIn, we see that it's also enabled and it has sort order empty. So that means that it's equal to 0, and 0 is of course higher than 1. Alright, so now let's look into how we can configure so that we can actually log in with Facebook, because if I now click Facebook, I just get an error. So let's go back to the top, and here we need to fill in our app ID and our app secret. So let's start by clicking register here, and let's create a new app and choose website, and I will call this, Magento 2 webshop, and I will create a new Facebook app. I can choose a category here. I will simply choose fashion, and then I will create my app. And here we can see our app ID, which we can copy. But the first thing I need to do is I need to add the URL of my site. So I'm going to copy the URL of my start page. So I'm just going to copy the first part, which is In your case, it might be www.coca-cola.com, for example, but I'm using a development environment right now. That is why it looks like this. So I'm going to add it here, and then I'm almost done. So we see that it's finished, and if I go to the very top and I skip my quick start, we see here again my app ID, which I can now copy back to Magento admin. And then if I click here under app secret to show my secret key, I need to log in again or enter my password. I need to enter the correct password. So now I have my app secret, which I can add here, and that's it. So now it's just about saving it and clearing the cache, and I should now be able to test this. So if I refresh my start page and I click sign in and I choose Facebook, and I will use my personal Facebook account and log in, we will see that I'm successfully logged in.